I found a new gym, man. Freaking pumped, man. This thing had iron plates, so I had to get in there and get a workout in. On top of that, they also had like these wicked ass paintings of Arnie, Frank Zane, and Vince Gironda, like on the walls. You'll see it in this video. But basically, it was a kick-ass gym. Had, like I said, iron plates, and had a GHD. When I see a GHD in a gym, that's a gym, man. GHD had a deadlift platform. There was only 2 squat racks. It's a kind of smaller gym, but it was really cool to work out in. I found it by accident, man. My wife and I were going out for her, just like a birthday dinner. We were going down this street in Adelaide here, which is basically just all restaurants. And I saw a sign saying Iron Industries Gym, and then pointing down towards like this staircase. It had like a door and then staircase. You know, so we went down there and I checked it out, and yeah, I saw what I saw, loved it. By the way, 94 kilos since I started doing all this hypertrophy, all these high reps. Usually 93 kilos is where I sit, so a kilo, whatever. So anyway, decided to come back and hit the gym up here. Really cool. Really pumped to train here. It was a really quiet gym. There's basically, I don't think anyone knows about it, to be honest with you, man. Like, there's, I think, 2 or 3 other people in the gym. So I loved it. You know, music wasn't all that great, whatever, but really cool equipment, really kind of old school equipment. So I loved it. It kind of motivated me, especially having the squat rack up against freaking Arnie, you know, painting. He's basically looking at Arnie every single set, every single rep. So they kind of pushed me. But today was basically a bloodbath, man. I fucking worked hard today, man. It was crazy, man. I think the iron plates and Arnie looking at me kind of pushed me to go further and further. So yesterday I had a bit of a volume day as well. And today I came in here, did, you know, my usual 5 sets of 20 with the bar, 5 sets of 10 with 60, 5x5 on 100. And then I did singles with 140, 160, or 180. And then once I hit 180, I went down to 140 again, and then did a set of 10 of that. And then I went down to 100, and I did a set of 20 of that. Those 2 last sets murdered me, man. I was huffing and puffing. I had, full body pump, basically. My calves started kind of cramping up on me as well. And this is what I was talking about. Frank Zane, Vince Gironda, I think that's Vince Gironda, and then Arnie. So really cool to kind of work out in front of those legends. But yeah, just the arm plates were awesome. Absolutely awesome. I loved it. But yeah, just the training's going really well. One of you guys mentioned that my stance is kind of more feet flared. And that's really weird how that's happened. I don't know how that's happened, but I think it's because of the high reps. I'm getting more external rotation because of the pump that I'm getting through the glutes. And that's kind of pushing the stance out. I don't want to fight that. If it feels comfortable like that, I'm going to just do that. Usually, like even when you see Tom Platz squat, you know, his narrow stance, he has a bit of a, flare. Usually people say that, the wider the stance, the more kind of straight your feet are supposed to point, and the more narrow you go, the more kind of like flared you go. But I've seen all sorts of things. I've seen everything in between that, like I've seen people with, really narrow stance and feet straight forward. And then I've seen also really wide stance, kind of sumo, Louis Simmons, Westside Barbell, where your freaking toes are pointing almost like at 90 degrees, out. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to go with it. The body wants to do that, so I'm going to let it do that. The hip feels amazing, so there's no complaints from me. I just want to feel healthy. So 140 here, moved all right, I think. The really weird thing about doing all these reps, in the lead up to the top single, is that all these weights, 140, 160, 180, it all feels heavy on my shoulders, man. It really just feels heavy. And this is, I'm just having a joke with my cameraman here. I just love loading these blades up and hearing the clacker. Love it, man. Hearing that clap of the weights, it just adds that extra bit of like, I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of, old school, everything really, in terms of cars, I'm stuck like in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't really like, all the new stuff all that much, and especially with these iron plates. I feel like I'm back in the freaking 70s and the 80s training. I love it. And, most gyms around here, you never see this stuff. All you ever see is just basically those plastic coated or rubber coated, whatever they are, plates. You know, they don't want to make noise in the gym. They don't want you to make noise. But I'd love, you know, a whole set of these at home. Although I don't think the neighbors would be all that happy. You know, it makes a racket. So this is 180. Nice and clean, no sticking point, plenty of horsepower in the legs. My legs have grown. They really have. There's a whole lot of hypertrophy going on in my legs. All these reps are making me feel good. They're putting some muscle mass on, although it's probably just sarcoplasmic kind of hypertrophy. It's not, you know, myofibrillar hypertrophy. So it's kind of that water retention kind of stuff. But anyway, here I did 140 for a set of 10. This was heavy, man. I was kind of done at the 5th rep with all these reps under my belt, man. Like legs jelly, but I pushed through it. They're not the prettiest kind of bar path you've ever seen, but you know, I still got it up, and it was I guess a good set. I'm proud of how I pushed through, I guess. And then after this, I did 100 kilos for a set of 20. Now in my prime, I think the best I ever got with 100 kilos was 31 reps. This is where I was kind of like, oh man, I want to say a good 6 months ago. Maybe even 7 or 8 months ago, I was pushing high reps. This was the time where I actually hit my 200 kilo squat for the first time. It was in the back off doing all this like stupid volume. I remember doing, you know, the barbell for a set of 50. So I think I'm heading in the right direction with all of this. It's hard work. It's you know, vomit central really. It's really hard work. Like for me, reps feels harder than doing anything else, man. Like I'd rather do, you know, 90% for like 10 singles than do, you know, 50% for a set of 20. It's just, for me, reps really destroy me. Especially like kind of these like heavy, you know, heavy work sets where you just kind of like AMRAPing it almost. But I'm feeling good. I think in every, like a few times a week, I'll try and push some of these reps. But the trouble with that is that I don't have enough or anything left for the deadlift. And a few of you guys have, you know, asked me in the comments, you know, what's happening with the deadlift. You know, you have this epiphany with the deadlift and now you're kicking it out. Might have been some miscommunication there, but I'm not kicking the deadlift out of the program at all. The deadlift is still part of the program. I was just basically explaining that it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. Because originally when I said deadlift every day, it was, you know, for the purpose of hip health, because I thought that the deadlift was making me feel good. But then I realized that it wasn't the deadlift at all. It was just high reps off of anything. So it could have been deadlift, it could have been squats. Now that I've kind of worked out that the squats are making me feel really good, you know, the long warm up with the squats, there's no point of doing deadlifts as well for high reps when I'm getting what I need out of the squats. So I'm going to do squat every day as always, obviously, in high reps. And then there's no point of also doing you know, high rep deadlifts after the squats, because you just spent, like after this workout, after this set of, you know, 100 times 20, I was spent. But I ended up deadlifting as well today. But my deadlift was basically just singles. You know, I still want to hit the posterior chain, although the squat also hits the posterior chain. So it's a lot of overlap. Still, I think the deadlift has a place in my training program. It's just I don't think I need to do it every single day. And that was the point of yesterday's video. Maybe I didn't make that clear enough. So the deadlift is still going to be here. Right now I'm thinking one day bench, one day deadlift, one day bench, one day deadlift, and just alternate the two like that, with the squat every day as being the spine of the program. But no, absolutely not am I letting go of the deadlift at all. Like, you know, never going to do that again. It's just when you hit squats for, you know, heaps of volume, you can't do the deadlift for heaps of volume. It's just impossible, man. Like you're not getting anything out of that, and you're just burning yourself out. So that was kind of the thinking behind all of that. And then, you know, this gym also has like a dedicated deadlift platform. I ended up going to 200 kilos here. Yeah, basically, you know, 200 kind of moved all right. I thought about going 220, but then I ended up just kind of doing a slow descent, eccentric kind of portion of the deadlift here as I was kind of lowering the 200 down. And then I just left it at that. I was spent here, man. Like my calves were freaking cramping up from the high reps, you know, the 20 rep, 100 kilos. So yeah, feeling really good, man. Feeling really good. Feel like a bodybuilder, which that's why I think it was appropriate to go to this gym and squat in front of Arnie, because legit, I feel like I'm just bodybuilding at this point. But yeah, I'm freaking stoked how everything's going along. I'm loving the fact that there's no pain in the hip. That's the most beautiful thing. Some of you guys would have noticed as well that I made a post earlier today about me doing a Q&A. So if you see that post, leave a question there that you want me to answer. I'm going to try and do one of these days where I just sit down and I just basically answer all the kind of questions that you guys have. It might be a long video. I thought about breaking that video up into several kind of little videos, or just per question, but then I thought it would be kind of too messy. I'll have like thousands of these videos if I just dedicate a video for each question. So I just might do like a Q&A 20-25 minute video where I just answer all of your questions. I try and get to all the comments. As you guys know, this is 200 kilos. I try and answer all the comments as much as I can, but I'm finding more and more difficult. There's more and more of you guys now, but still, I'm not giving up. Still kind of chasing all those comments. But yeah, if you want to leave a question in that post that I did, and one of these days, the next few days, I'm going to do a Q&A and release that as well. All right, guys, another workout, a new gym. Still feeling healthy, still feeling pumped to train. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.